The Force in Star Wars is just Harry under an invisibility cloak. The Ford Anglia is Arthur Weasley's Horcrux. Gandalf and Dumbledore are the same wizard. Harry Potter, Breaking Bad, SpongeBob, and real life all exist in the same universe. Lord Voldemort is a Pokemon. These are just a handful of the absurd theories I've seen posted online, and for the most part, I try to center this channel around good theories. At least that's the goal. But for today, I thought I'd dive deep into the worst of the worst and peel back the layers of some of the absolute worst Harry Potter theories out there. This list is full of gold, and some of them are pretty hilarious. So join me as we examine the dregs of the theorydom. Hey everyone, welcome to another installment of Harry Potter Theory. Before we dive into today's theories, I want to explain that some of these theories are really just statements, with no verifiable information or any sort of speculation to accompany them. However, there are plenty that do provide us with their own absurd explanations for how these theories may be plausible. With that disclaimer out of the way, let's get started. Gandalf and Dumbledore are the same wizard. Remember when Gandalf the Grey falls into a chasm after beating that thing at the end of Fellowship? Well, it's actually a gateway. To what, you ask? To the garden from Narnia, from which all the worlds can be accessed. And he comes to the world of Harry Potter because he knows he'll need more to fight off Sauron and Saruman. He spends over a century in training as he learns from the greatest wizard of all time, Tom Marvolo Riddle, Lord Voldemort, and then he returns in his improved form, Gandalf the White, having his associate, Severus Snape, kill him off so no one would be suspicious. Since worlds don't have the same rate of progression, nobody knows that he's been gone so long. I don't even know where to begin with this one, but someone in the comment section certainly seemed to have a good time, pointing out some powerful evidence. They both have pointy hats, need I say more? No, wait, Dumbledore's isn't pointy. They both have hats. Someone also carefully pointed out that there is what appears to be a portrait of Gandalf in Dumbledore's office. Suspicious. However, there may be a few issues with this theory. Shocker. For starters, the Wizarding World in Harry Potter exists in a hidden part of contemporary Earth, while Gandalf exists in the separate fantasy world of Middle-earth. Dumbledore is also a human wizard born in the 19th century with a detailed personal history, and Gandalf is a Maiar, an angelic being with a divine mission whose existence predates the world. But beyond those minor details, sure. Everyone in Harry Potter was spiders. The spiders we see in Harry Potter are the real wizards and are humans, but to the characters who think they're humans, they actually see the real humans as spiders and themselves as humans. So in the Chamber of Secrets, Spider-Ron sees spiders and he is scared. He's not scared of spiders like a normal person, who are actually spiders, but scared because the spiders remind him of his true self, a spider. Hard to argue with this one, it all checks out. Harry Potter is a fish. The main compelling argument for this theory can be summed up in one line. In the Goblet of Fire, Harry can breathe underwater. Outstanding. And it was all looking so promising until one commenter said the following: but what about that one scene where he is not in the water? Checkmate. Rachel from Friends is related to the Weasleys. In Season 5, Episode 24 of Friends, the one in Vegas Part 2, Rachel says that she's starting to look like my great-aunt Muriel. In Harry Potter, Ron Weasley has a great-aunt Muriel. He also has a relative who's a squib. I believe Rachel is related to Ron on the squib side. This theory is rock solid, and received the following feedback from one commenter. Well, magic had to be involved for that group to afford those apartments in NYC. It was Neville Longbottom all along. Harry Potter pulled a Lockhart. Gilderoy Lockhart becomes infamous for fabricating stories about his supposed heroic deeds. He begins his process by identifying genuine heroes who have performed remarkable feats, then seeks them out and uses the Obliviate charm to erase their memories. With the true heroes' memories wiped, Lockhart appropriates their stories, presenting them as his own. He changes the details to feature himself as the protagonist, often embellishing the tales to make them more grandiose and entertaining. Did Harry Potter pull a Lockhart on Neville Longbottom? Yes, you heard that right. Neville Longbottom was the real chosen one, and Harry Potter simply stole his stories and told them as his own. Clearly his story is implausibly exaggerated, defeats Voldemort when just a baby, becomes a star Quidditch player in his first year, having barely picked up a broom, keeps saving the day, but mostly through luck, no explanations given for some of the happy coincidences. One commenter responded with further proof. Neville was supposed to be the chosen one. Here's an explanation behind it. The odd thing is, Harry, he said softly, that it may not have meant you at all. Sybil's prophecy could have applied to 2 wizard boys, both born at the end of July that year, both of whom had parents in the Order of the Phoenix, both sets of parents having narrowly escaped Voldemort 3 times. One, of course, was you. The other was Neville Longbottom. What do you think? Did Harry pull a Lockhart? The Force in Star Wars is actually just Harry Potter under an invisibility cloak. This one was just a title with no further evidence to back it up at all, but I've got to say, it's ironclad. Redditors agreed. Reasonable. Well, I've just saved Hogwarts. Better go spend thousands of years tricking a bunch of people in robes into thinking that they control the universe with their minds. Harry Potter's invisibility cloak is made out of John Cena's skin. That's why no one can see him in it. Another one-line wonder. The wizarding world of Harry Potter is the present, with Game of Thrones being its past. Both the wizarding world of Harry Potter and Game of Thrones take place in the same dimension, but take place in different times in history. Now, it's clear by the geography that Game of Thrones takes place in Europe, Westeros being the UK and Essos the rest of Europe, and Winterfell is modern-day Scotland. In Game of Thrones, you have some characters possessing magical powers, but they are rare. The books have a lot of magical and supernatural references that the show never even mentioned, so clearly people who have only seen the series will fail to make the connection. With time, these beings with magical abilities began to see that they were able to pass down their abilities onto their children. The magic community grew more and more with time. Soon common folk became wary of these magical beings. A dragon burnt entire towns to the ground, so you can't blame them really, and started hunting them down. With nothing to defend themselves, in desperation, one of them picked up a stick, and he was able to harness his powers through it to defend himself against the Muggles. Seeing this, the other magical beings started to craft more elaborate sticks and fashion the core with dragon string, phoenix feathers, unicorn hairs, or a fiber from any magical animal to amplify their existing magical abilities, creating the first ones. After a long war, the magical beings decided they would be better off in obscurity, and it was then that they invented the Obliviate spell, the first known spell to be made by them. The magical beings started calling themselves wizards and witches, which initially was a slur the Muggles used against them, but now they accepted as their newfound identity. The wizards created more spells and soon opened schools to teach these spells to new wizards and witches, the first of which was built on the ruins of a castle named Winterfell. It would become one of the leading wizarding schools named Hogwarts. The wizards now live amongst the Muggles but are completely invisible to them. Godric Gryffindor is a descendant of Sansa Stark. He donated his ancestral land to build Hogwarts. Rowena Ravenclaw was from a land called the Vale. Helga Hufflepuff's ancestors used to live in King's Landing, but they had to flee after Daenerys attacked, and while Salazar Slytherin's roots were wildly unknown, he is believed to be a descendant of one of the Wildling clans that settled in Westeros after Jon Snow defeated the White Walkers. Others even say one of his ancestors was in fact a White Walker, hence his cold nature. And we can't forget about Harry Potter, as he is the prince who was promised by his ancestor Rhaegar Targaryen, father of Aegon Targaryen, better known as Jon Snow. Is it just a coincidence both Harry Potter and Jon Snow escaped death? I think not. All I can say is, whoa. Kanye West is Harry Potter. Sorry to disappoint you and all that, but the greatest wizard in the world is Albus Dumbledore. But if that wasn't enough to convince you, commenters also pointed out some undeniable evidence. Now that you mention it, I've never seen them in the same room before. Harry Potter's scar was a result of him being dropped on his head while he was only a baby. This is also why he hears strange voices, sees visions, and faints a million times in his 3rd year. Commenters said the following: "Damn, shouldn't have left out the lightning-shaped cookie cutters again." You know the common complaint of the "why didn't Voldemort just throw baby Harry out the window" plot hole? He actually tried this and Harry landed on his forehead, hence how he got the scar. This might actually explain a lot. And one bonus theory to leave you thinking: Harry Potter, Breaking Bad, SpongeBob, and real life all exist in the same canonical universe. However, in this universe, the first 3 are works of fiction. Commenters: my god. And that's it for this video. Which absurd Harry Potter theory was your favourite? What's the worst theory you've heard? Leave a comment down below. Also, if you enjoy the content, please like the video and subscribe to the channel. Until next time, remember, it does not do to dwell on dreams and forget to live.